Which one's a better chain? Because I don't feel like sharpening out dings right now. So I'm hoping to cut a couple logs before it gets dark. I didn't have any logs to split today, so I decided to make a video of me cutting logs instead. All right, well, I don't know how much you got of that, but I was sharpening some chainsaw blade. So I don't know how much it did, because for some reason it decided to disconnect from my internet. But that's what I was doing, was sharpening some chains, because I'm going to try to cut some firewood. I didn't have enough to split, so I'm just going to cut for, I guess, until it gets dark. So if you want to watch, you can watch. If you don't have to. But this is what I enjoy doing, splitting firewood and sharing it with you guys. So I'm going to take my lapel mic off once I start cutting, and I'm just going to throw it by the camera, because otherwise it's just going to be way too loud and you ain't going to be able to hear anything I'm saying. Oh, dropped my leg. Sounds like my neighbor's coming. Likes to ride his four-wheeler with his kids down here, and they come and watch me. Let's see which chain this is, because one of them, I think it's this one I want. So firewood for me has been, people have been calling nonstop. Obviously it's getting close to my prime time, well, my preferred time, which I get a decent amount of deliveries, is in the beginning of March. That's when I want to deliver firewood. Once it gets cold and snows out, I'm not delivering firewood. Like if it's cold and freezing, most of the time nobody wants to pay the price, pay more money, because once it's winter, I charge more for my firewood, because it's cold and whatnot, and I have to deliver it in the cold, and a lot of people, almost everybody, doesn't want to pay that. So most of the time I don't deliver in the winter. Like once we start getting them below temperatures, I don't deliver at all. They can find somebody else, because I don't get paid to freeze. Wow, 140 people, and I really didn't even do anything yet. All right, let's move this camera here. So these are some of the logs I'm going to be cutting up. So I'm going to put my lapel mic on the camera so you can still hear, but it's not ear-piercing loud. I got to turn my camera around so I can read comments. There we go. Now that I dropped my whole entire mic pack on the ground. Alright. I gotta go grab some headphones and I'll start. HY, how you doing? How you doing, guys? Question I've seen them, and I don't know where they are now. Oh, yeah, they are. Hey, Fred. How you doing? Thanks for joining. Hello. I don't know if I can move you guys a little closer. Maybe I'll try so it's easier for you to see. So I always fill it before you start. What's up? Just having some fun here, cutting some firewood. Because I can't split any right now. How you doing? So since these wood, a lot of this wood is really big, I use that for my firewood bundles because there's a lot of wood in it. Because you can get a lot of wood out of one piece. So I'll split it down for my bundle wood. Joe Bro, what's up? Probably should move some of these logs. Some of these logs I'm probably going to have to split either with my hydraulic splitter or I'm going to have to split these by hand. I'll probably split them by hand. What's up? I don't drink beer. So depending on how much light we have, I might split these in this live manually, or I might do another live. And to answer somebody's question that said, how's life? Muscles aching. Do you have work to keep the body smooth? It looks like you're tired. Yes, so the reason I'm tired is because I just got done from work, running around all day. And then I come back to this, so. So yes, I am tired. How many piles you doing? Till it gets dark, I have all this wood to split. And that's taller than me, that's taller than 6 foot. It's dry wood? No, this is all wet. My ear muffs are broken, so they're pulling my hair. How many pounds? I already answered that. How many days will that take? It will take months. Do you sell hardwood? And no. Is it dry? Yes, it's all green. All this wood is probably half dry, but I don't, when I sell wood, I don't advertise it dry. I advertise it half seasoned. because then they can't come and contact me later and say that it's not burning. I can say it was half advertised half dry. 2 years to dry, so that depends on the wood and how thick it is. Every species dries quicker, different. If it's oak, let me see. So everything dries differently. This is a piece of oak and this is a piece of oak. This will probably be dry within a year. All right, this is probably going to take 3 years to dry because it dries a half an inch a year. So the bigger the piece, the more it dries. Plus, if you have like hickory, it dries quicker. A lot of work there, yeah. It dries faster if you split it. Yes, it does. So all these rounds I'm cutting up will probably be like I don't know when live, maybe an early morning Saturday or something, whenever I have the time to be able to live stream. So if you stay tuned, you might see I'll probably do a live video of me busting these logs up. teeth are sharp, but I'm going to check the teeth because it's not cutting as well. Gotta make sure I'm reading all the comments. Nice video, you got good experience, thanks. How much experience have you had, whatever that word is, cut wood? I've been doing firewood since I was 17. Well, probably 15. That man needs a sharp chain. Yeah, I just sharpened it, but I think I need to file down the teeth. Only thinking when it cuts pieces of hell. Yeah, I'm gonna go check the teeth because I just sharpened it. But also, this, even if because it's still chunking out, these pieces are still pretty sharp, pretty big, so they're not. It is still pretty sharp. So, but also when you cut in big logs, it uses up a lot of the. It dies a lot. Gets duller a lot quicker. Yeah, these teeth could use a little, but not much. You're pretty much already good. But I'll file them down a little bit. If this doesn't cut good, I do have an extra chain. I did sharpen an extra chain. When you're cutting really big logs, man, it gets dull a lot quicker than a whole bunch of small logs. Alright, let's see how that works. It didn't need much filing, which is good. Let's see. Only a wink of the day left. Yes, that's because that's the annoying part of having a full-time job is I don't have an exact time of when I get off work. So sometimes I get off work 5 o'clock, sometimes it's 6 o'clock, sometimes it's 2 o'clock. You use gasoline and the mix. Yes. All day you cut difference. 3O the same color. I have no idea, but okay. just going to go swap out. It's getting dark anyway, so I'm just going to swap this chain out with this one. Just so I can at least get this log cut and maybe a couple more. So I'll swap it out with the fresh chain. That's the one downside of getting massive logs, is you do go through more chains than if you had smaller logs, because you can cut more of the smaller logs, but you can only cut a little bit of the big logs. Man, I think I just dropped my bolt. Oh, it's right here. Whew! Almost lost my bolt. So I am hoping on getting a generator, because my last one broke, just so it can, so I can split more, because it's getting towards winter and I run out of time. Time for a file. I don't have a vise and I can't file it. I've tried and I can't. It don't do anything. How many feet have the tree? I don't know. This tree, 1, 2. This one's about 10 foot long. And I don't know, probably 3 feet wide. Smoking that bar. What bar? It's not smoking. Run it dry. It's not running dry. Gotta tighten my chain because it got warm. I cut mine 16 inches. I think this one needs its teeth filed too. Yeah, this one really needs its teeth filed. Because I just have them sharpened and then... And just like that, it's already getting too dark. I'm also hoping I can get these couple logs done. Yes, these logs, when you use the machine, how many supplies you use? When I use the machine? What do you mean the machine? Just as I started cutting. What's up, Frank? Short bar. I got a 20 inch. I gotta fill my tank up with gas. Alright, now that I got another thing of gas mix, fill this up real quick. Alright, see if I can at least get through this log. Yeah, they're too dull. And I don't have any more chains. Well, that are sharp. Time to go, have fun. Work. You work 6 hours almost. Yes, I work 6 hours and then I come and work till dark. Whenever I get off work, I work until it gets dark at doing firewood. At least he didn't load it with oil. Are you burning fuel? Now I'm burning fuel. Yeah, I gotta go get more chains and I didn't sharpen enough. Because the bigger the logs are, the more I'm trying to figure out if I left my mic pack over here. But the bigger the logs, the more fuel you burn and the more it cuts into your chain. Because instead of cutting a whole bunch of small logs, you're cutting a couple of big logs, so it's equivalent to a whole bunch of small logs. Get a third Harbor Freight sharpener. I already have one. I just 2 chainsaw blades and went through. Well, one of them had a ding in it where I need to actually file down the teeth, and so that's why that one didn't work, and the other one didn't work because it got dull because of those big logs. I have a freight sharpener. So I don't know when I'm gonna go live next time, but hopefully next time I can hand split some of them big rounds, because that would be interesting. People have been commenting left and right saying, oh, you should hand split, you should hand split. So next live, I don't know when it's going to be, but I'm going to try to do some hand splitting. So I got to get prepared for hand splitting. So I don't think I got any super chats or diamonds, but if I did and I missed it, thank you. If a moderator was needed, thank you. Sharpen live. If you look in the beginning of this live video, I was sharpening chains, but the internet went out or something, so I don't know how much was there. Because when I looked at when I started sharpening, and then when I ended and looked at my computer, my phone, it was saying it was just loading. So I don't know how much I got. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you in another live stream or another video.